certainly there have been times where, there's no way we're hiring a white male person.
Just kind of unspoken.
There are times when it's spoken, but
how would they say it?
There's no way we're hiring a white male person.
Holy macadamia nutness nation. This is a senior executive at Disney, senior vice president of Disney. His name is Michael Giordano. You can see here he is being caught undercover by O'Keefe Media. Big hats off and credit to O'Keefe Media for admitting discriminatory DEI, didn't earn it practices, essentially on camera admitting that Disney has a policy of complete wokeness, complete anti-white, not hiring for the best, not representing America, not a meritocracy, discriminating, which is against the law. And this is 100% proof. You can see his LinkedIn profile. He has since these Disney tapes, quote unquote, came out, you can see he has since deleted his LinkedIn page. So he's the senior vice president team lead at the Walt Disney Company. He is a senior executive, and it's something that I think we all kind of knew, but this is all confirmation. Amazing investigative reporting done by O'Keefe Media. Let's check out some more.
Like straight to you, or okay.
They'd be very careful how they message that to agents.
According to these videotapes, Disney blatantly discriminates against white men in particular.
I think I'm sort of well prepared for it. I'm well positioned for it. But as far as Disney's concerned, I'm a white male. That's not who they're looking to promote at the moment.
As a white guy, even Michael has his own doubts about the possibility for advancement for himself at Disney. In fact, Michael actually got to experience Disney's discrimination against white males firsthand.
I've been at the company 11 years now, so I have friends in HR and I have friends in those divisions, and they're like, look, nobody else is going to tell you this, Mike, but they're not considering any white males for the shop. They're just not. That's not what they want.
They even passed over a qualified half-black person for a promotion because they didn't look black enough.
We wanted to hire somebody in the department a few years ago now, who was half black, but didn't appear half black. And there was a creative executive who was like, "We're not that's not what's going." Like, they wanted somebody in meetings who would appear a certain way, and he wasn't gonna bring that to the meeting. I mean, it kind of feels like we're, at some point there's going to be a lawsuit. That's kind of how it feels, just because of,
And that is a lawyer talking. So how does Disney explain pushing these discriminatory practices? They use code words and buzzwords.
I'm guessing that there's acceptable code words and buzzwords that are used to explain what they're looking for. They might say something like, look, we're not looking at the usual suspects for this job. So it's not a legally actionable thing. So everybody knows what it means. Say, for writers and actors, you hear all the time, I'm looking to hire writers and actors who bring diversity. I'm not looking to bring on any more clients who are white. We have a diversity, equity, inclusion department who's very involved in setting standards to make sure that our shows have diversity.
Do you think Bob has a say in the diversity stuff when they're casting people?
100%.
To what?
He gives the directive. I mean,
for each show,
not that specifically, but hey, I want every show to have substantial.
Iger even has a chief diversity officer. Now, up until recently, that was Latondra Newton, who played a big part in dragging Disney full bore into its losing culture war by promoting discriminatory hiring practices and introducing gay, lesbian, transgender, non-binary, and other characters into Disney's children's animated series and films.
It's an all-across thing, all of HR. There's that one specific person that kind of Because I forgot the lady's name. She's the head of the.
Oh, I know you're talking about the head of the diversity, yeah.
The African American lady. Yeah. So is that like kind of her deciding?
She
that?
oversees a lot of that for sure. But it's pretty broad, I would say. There are other people in HR who are also focused on that. I would say a relatively large percentage of our top writer creators happen to be women, and a lot of
Just by happenstance.
I mean, like, just like if you say whatever, I don't know, whatever 10 or 15% of the population is gay, I would guess that 30 or 35% of our top writers can be, gay. And so I think a lot of them lean into trans stories more than the average straight writer would.
Well, let's meet Los Angeles-based Michael Giordano, a white male and Walt Disney Senior Vice President of Business Affairs.
I do like business affairs, so like negotiations for television.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. That's really
So
cool.
not really like on the creative side. So a lot of it is, like knowing like the guild agreements and the union agreements and everything. Like make offers for the writers and the actors who are going to be out working on the show, and the producers and the directors, and try to like, get to a place where we can close a deal with them, help the production to budget, and so much of my job is just the negotiating room. And then other people are doing kind of the drafting of the contracts. So,
Oh wow. So yeah, what's the negotiating like?
I'm like sitting down trying to figure out, okay, what are we gonna pay this actor for this role? What do we think they want?
Oh wow.
Strategize that. Everything from how you produce a show, how you distribute a show, how you exhibit a show, how you market a show, things like that. All of the negotiations and deal making necessary related to it.
Yeah.
I think there are times when it's like so front and center. It's like great because that's the focus. Like we have so many shows where we're casting and we're like, yeah, we're not even going to see certain people for it because we need that particular role to.
So is it intentional that they want like they only look for diverse candidates for certain roles?
Yeah. I think there's certainly a belief that it's just good for society and dignity, but there's also a belief that like we're going to make more money if we appeal to a wider variety of people, and it's a good thing because we have shareholders too, and so diversity helps with that.
Diversity helps with financial incentive.
Yeah.
So is it like, do you think it's more so on that side, or are you using like any good prices that's put to use,
Disney would
or?
do it regardless. I think the Disney would do it regardless, but I think that there are like even conservative people who may not want to lean into it can easily make the argument that like we make more money when we appeal to a wider variety of people, and that means diversity.
Yeah.
There's a real focus on every show. And I'm sure the movies too, though I don't deal with that side of it. So, just making sure that the right.
By the way, that is complete and utter BS. What an awful parasitic ideology. And again, coming from higher education, somebody who used to teach in the public sector, some of the top universities in the world, I can tell you right now, this is an indoctrination. This is a contagion of an ideology that has been thwarted and thrusted on our kids for years. I guarantee you, there is not one quote unquote person of color who turns on a classic Disney movie like Cinderella, Snow White, Dumbo, or whatever, and goes, well, there's not enough brown people, or there's not enough black people. I'm going to turn this off. My kids aren't watching this. No. We watch it because it's amazing storytelling. It's the professionalism, the craftsmanship, the animation, the high quality. It has nothing to do with race. That is not a financial incentive, and it is proven when you go woke, you go broke.
This room has a real, diversity, not just gender or sexual orientation and ethnicity, but making sure that they're hiring some writers who have certain disabilities where they wouldn't have hired. So there's kind of a really broad look whenever we're doing hiring to make sure that everybody gets.
Yeah. So it's probably fair that Disney would say, we don't want a white person to play this role.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're very careful about messaging, because they don't want to get to open discrimination in either direction. But certainly there have been times where, there's no way we're hiring a white male person.
Just kind of
Yeah.
unspoken.
There are times when it's spoken, but
How would they say it?
there's no way we're hiring a white male person. They say
Like straight to you, or okay,
they be very careful how they message that to agents.
in like email or whatever.
I wish I could say I was surprised. I wish I could say that this was a shocking report. But being somebody who has a lot of connection to the labor market, running consulting businesses, but also in the private sector, working as a professor and seeing how these administrations, the ideologies, their policies, their programs, etc., completely complement everything that James O'Keefe uncovered, it's just not surprising. The only thing I can say before we sign off here is really like the thing that comes to mind is human beings have a tendency to create problems where there are none. We see examples of this all the time. I'm sure you guys have examples yourself, and please feel free to share those in the comments. The more that we keep pounding this race nail and driving it home and putting it in the forefront, and just we keep making this a conversation, it builds and grows and becomes more problematic. And now what we're doing is we're polluting the consciousness of innocent children, forcing them to think, talk, act, and feel guilty about race. And you can almost sense in the conversations with this Disney executive that there was a feeling of that white privilege, white guilt, that apparition called white privilege and white guilt seemed to be kind of pervading over the whole conversation. It's deep-seated, and there's absolutely no cause, there's no justification, there's no base or merit to it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pollute my kids, your kids, the next generation, with this idea where they never, ever would have even thought about it. You're going to make them feel guilty. You're going to make them feel conscious about something that they have absolutely no control over: skin tone, ethnicity, hair color, whatever, background. You're going to make them feel conscious about something that they really shouldn't feel conscious about. And so this DEI, I'm telling you, didn't earn it. This is the worst idea to ever come from a human cranium. And the fact that it's being implemented across the board makes my purpose even more inflamed, but makes it even more vital that we get our country back. That at the ballot box this November, in your community, in the local, domestic, municipality level, civic level, this is where state level, this is where you need to really understand this is not how America works. America is based on a merit-based principle and value. Best person for the job, best idea wins. Content of your character, not the color of your skin. We need to stop creating Mount Everest out of a molehill, an anthill. We need to stop creating problems where there are none. This is our moment. This is our time to act as adults, as citizens of this amazing country that I bleed red, white, and blue through and through. This is our moment to get everything back. I can't wait to hear from you guys. I throw this off to you, Nez Nation. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, if you made it this far, don't forget, even though you're subscribed, and I want you to subscribe, I want you to follow, sometimes you don't always get notified. So your sure-proof, fail-safe way is to subscribe to our free newsletter. Become a Nez Nation Insider. There's a link in the pinned comment, show notes, and description. All you got to do is click on it, give us your best email, and boom, you're in. You never miss out. Right to your inbox, everything that mainstream media, all the latest top stories, current news that mainstream media, corporate media, propagandist media doesn't cover, right to your inbox. So make sure you subscribe. It's free. I'll put that in there immediately. We don't spam. We don't share your email with any third party. That is not the Nez Nation way. So I look forward to hearing from you. Let me know in the comments down below. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right now. As always, follow and subscribe. And may God bless you, and may God bless America. I'll see you soon.